Basin Electric is completing filings to meet Federal Energy Regulatory Commission requirements, and several were filed recently. The Rate Schedule A and wholesale contract filings were made July 16th.
And that has to do with our rate schedule approval from FERC going back to November 1 of last year, 2019, and it'll cover all the way through December of 2020. And along with that, we've also been working, we have to file our wholesale power contracts. And FERC actually did not want a copy of all of the contracts and all of the amendments. They want them what they call conformed. And so you basically take a stack of contracts like this and you reduce it down to a smaller amount. The original contracts still are the legal documents, but it's called a conformed document. You look at the volume electronically. The Rate Schedule A document and the filings were about 1,500 pages, and the conformed agreements and the filed wholesale power contracts were about another 4,000 pieces of paper, so 5,500 pages of documents. You just think about how much paper that is if you were going to print it out. A ream of paper is about 500 sheets, and so it's more than a case of Xerox paper associated with that filing. I just can't compliment staff enough, in the effort that they put in, because most of this document was developed for the staff working at home, because of the COVID issues. And so you think about how many times they had to review all of that documentation, worked with our legal counsel. Obviously, Steve Johnson's finance people were tremendously involved, folks in my area. So hats off to staff doing a great job in that documentation.
The West Side tariff filing was submitted July 10th. Currently, Basin Electric's transmission facilities located within the Southwest Power Pool and some joint facilities with Black Hills Power and Precor are under FERC jurisdiction. Pius Fisher, Vice President of Transmission, explains some of the challenges with the filing needed for the transmission facilities located in the Western Missouri Basin Power Project system.
Missouri Basin Power Project is jointly owned by 5 utilities. Basin Electric has 42% share of that, and so we each have an undivided share of those transmission facilities. So there's a lot of coordination there. We also work with transmission, or should say generation interconnection processes, in which Tri-State G&T performs those activities on Basin's behalf for the MVP facilities in the West. So that has to be addressed. Also, there are Tri-State was concurrently providing their jurisdictional filing at the same time, so we had to ensure that those filings were concurrent with each other and consistent. There's also a complicating factor that we have DC ties in our system, so we have to demonstrate in the tariff how those are being used for transmission service. So the requirement is that we provide to FERC all of the filings necessary to address those facilities and also show that our transmission service rates are just and reasonable.
Interventions, either neutral, in favor, or against, are due on the West Side tariff filing July 31st, and for the Rate Schedule A and wholesale contract filings on August 6th.